What's up, Geek Variants? Oh, we are back waiting on Daredevil episode 7. And this one is setting up for something good because we have Muse in effect doing damage and really getting into stuff. We've got Daredevil back in the suit and look like he's got some frustration to get out. Kingpin had to go let some frustration out himself, and we see the parallels between Daredevil and Kingpin, or Wilson Fisk, as Tony would put it, because that is not his Kingpin. And we are just kind of waiting to see how this all boils down for our pretty much protagonist and antagonist, as eventually they're going to collide once again. So it's kind of like a wait and see. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see what's going on. Um, we've been getting a lot of information about different things that have been coming out lately while we're waiting on Daredevil to start. Namely, the fourth Spider-Man movie has set up its release date, I believe, as summer of 2026. And we have Spider-Verse, the last Spider-Verse movie, Beyond the Spider-Verse, set up for 2027 summertime, it looks like. So definitely great to see those coming forward and getting some more information on those. That just recently happened at CinemaCon, as well as a couple other movies announced, like Now You See Me, Now You Don't, and the fifth John Wick, so on and so forth. But we are focused on, seeing what's going on with Spider-Man, and a little concerned about this one. So brand new. This is what we're going with as far as Spider-Man goes. So it'll be interesting to see how they play out this story and what really happens with our Peter Parker, because he chose during the storyline to give up kind of a lot of things and kind of go do what he needs to do, which we see that he's kind of given up Mary Jane, more or less. He didn't go try to remind her who he was. So if you haven't seen the movie, spoilers, he didn't go try to remind her who he was. He went ahead and was like, let me go live life and do what I got to do and let her live hers. So yeah, he's definitely in his feelings about that. So we'll see how that comes to pass with Spider-Man 4, and hopefully Sony and Marvel are still fully working together on this, and that leaves for plenty of setup and crossovers with Daredevil once again, or any of the Defenders, because Spider-Man is back to being a street level hero, even though we know Spider-Man has the ability to go as far as cosmic in certain cases. So nice to see him back at street level for a little bit, and we'll see how he kind of handles everything going forward, because he's back pretty much on his own. Nobody knows who he is, and don't know if Daredevil is going to come across him. We'll get some nice little banter back and forth between them two. Kristen Ritter, we're still waiting to see if she's going to make a return. She has been one of the most pivotal characters with the Defenders as far as the series goes. Her show was the second best as far as just the four Defenders, because it's more Defenders and Punisher. He's not really Defender. He's just kind of showing up. But it'll be nice to see if she makes her return. We definitely got the actor who played Danny Rand, Iron Fist, in the media, asking for fans to give him one more shot at playing the character. It's like, do we want to give him one more shot? Do we want to give him a chance to redeem himself and try to reprise his role as, you know, Iron Fist and really like come to bear, or do we want to just leave it all together? My opinion, I'm just down for leaving it all together, because we have White Tiger on the horizon. We have Shang-Chi, who is an excellent martial artist. Um, and Punisher is getting back into the fold. Honestly, we don't need Iron Fist at this point in time. Honestly, I'd be happy with just Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Punisher moving forward, and then whoever gets attached to them, i.e., Spider-Man makes an appearance, or White Tiger is one of the ones they're training up, because she's going to have some fighting background. I don't know. Like we got options here, so we'll see what they say and how they play that out. Checking to see what the episode has loaded yet. We are right on the 9 o'clock mark for Eastern time here. You want to see episode 7, Art for Art's Sake. So that is what we are going to get into, and got that set up and loaded up. Let's see if we get right into it. If we have an intro. Let's see. All right. So going to the recap, talking about the projected personas, people who need help. And again, freaking Muse needs help, a lot of help because of what he's got going on. So I definitely see Daredevil's girlfriend being the target of Muse at some point. Um, Kingpin mad about projects not being aligned with his interests. So he's about to really shake up the board here. He's going to do whatever necessary to shake up the board. But he built that task force. Remember, he built that task force last season or last episode to set up for dealing with all the mass vigilantes. And even with Muse on the run now, after being encountered, after having an encounter with Daredevil and the future White Tiger, we'll definitely see how everything plays out. So right now I'm at the 105-minute marker. 105-minute marker. It's just me and one other viewer here, so glad to have you. So I'm going to start this up here in about 10 seconds. I'm going to rant a little bit more for a second. Kingpin and Daredevil, the parallels were really, really good as far as them both kind of letting off that frustration that they needed to let off. They are angry, they're upset because things are not going the way that they need them to go, and they are going to take it out on whoever gets in their way, well within reason. Fisk, everybody's in his way. Daredevil, he's trying to channel it towards people who deserve to be handed down justice. So we'll see if this trend continues on this episode and through these first 9 episodes before we go to a break. All right, so starting it up now. Starbucks, really? That's what we see, Starbucks? What does Fisk see? Fear. He wants a city. He's really trying to do right by the city in his eyes. Again. Mm. Rescued. Up. And that's the trigger. Again, talking about the mask being put back on. And now he knows that the mask has been put back on. Mm. All right, Buck, Daniel, y'all got to go. Daredevil is back in Kingpin's mind, and now he is really going to let off the chain. Look at him. He is fuming. He is ready. He was waiting for this. So, and the intro plays. I'm going to let the intro play out for Tony, since Tony could not be here tonight. Freaking Tony and Brent are out tonight, and they are out. So, speedy recovery to Brent. Hopefully, he's not down and out for too long. And whatever Tony is that he had to handle, hopefully, we will see him back next week and really get more into this stuff because, again, I do think Dark Devil is on the horizon. Like he is coming. We've seen the several masks. We've seen all the stuff that's going on. We see the rage and frustration he had built up that he just let out on Muse, and Muse is still running loose. So Muse is going to still keep doing what Muse is doing because he needs help, and somebody's got to help him or stop him from doing the things that he's doing. So that's going to be the biggest thing: is how is Daredevil going to be able to stop him if he's, again, he was so blinded by rage he didn't tie him up, string him up, freaking have him sent to the police. He was trying to get to the victim, Angela, and Muse was able to escape. So I don't know what Muse is going to be doing from that point on, as far as if he's going to continue his things or if he's going to turn focus to trying to take out Daredevil. And I don't know if there's going to have any alignment with Fisk at any point in time. It seems like he's on his own, but I do think that Dex is going to come back into play here soon. If not at the end of these first 9 episodes, definitely sometime at the beginning of the next set of episodes. But Punisher, we should see him play real soon because of that task force. All right, show is back on, and we get Angela, who is recovering. Looks like she's having some nightmares. Yeah, I think this is part of what's going to help her be called to the White Tiger. But now he's got to process. Yep. A couple shower, sure. Why not? She's gonna start because here's the thing: he can't really have a relationship too easily because he takes a lot of beatings. So he's gonna catch bruises, bumps, blood, everything. So she's gonna have to either get wise to what's going on, or he's gonna have to start, hiding more and more from her, which doesn't necessarily make a good look. But yeah, like he is going to start taking more and more damage as things go on. She's gonna start asking questions, and that's gonna be a problem because it's also gonna put her in the line of fire if it hasn't already. I mean, she's dealing with Fisk for sure in therapy and stuff like that, so it's got to be more to it. Yep, question the bruises. Hmm. So she's asking questions already. She she wants to know. Now she's analyzing. That's what she does. So she's good. Yeah, he's not just talking about the old firm. He's talking about a lot. Why'd you hang on Karen like that though? Freaking, you worried about Karen? Like what? Fake. Yeah. Yeah, I knew she wasn't gonna like that. Hmm. She's gonna she's either gonna leave or she's gonna try to force to, I guess, more fix him. He's very, very quick and dismissive of her, but he's able to break the ice a bit. Okay. Mm-mm. This is not going to. I don't think it's going to end well for her. I don't remember the particulars of her character. Yeah. Cherry's like, I thought she was going to chill out, man. Cherry said, "I'm not gonna be a part of it." Oh, taking jabs at each other. Cherry didn't like that. He's like, I'm calling you for help. You used to call me. Like, throw me a bone here, I'm trying to get this done." But he's focused, so pretty sure Matt's gonna go after regardless. For the sake of the city. Yep. Buck. Yep. Fizz didn't like that because he's trying to be the one who's here for the sake of the city. 10 years built it, and Daredevil tore it down. Mm. Yeah. Told you, Fist got triggered real quick when he heard that he was back. That's why I think Daredevil's going to need help. He's going to have to bring in some more people. Punisher #1. I think Punisher's going to bring himself in though. Yeah, he's a mayor. You do have more resources, considerable resources. Mm. This is true. Abuse of power. It can be asymmetrically. Even though you used to step outside the law, and you're still kind of stepping outside the law. Okay. All right. Hector was right. Yep. Okay. Detectives are checking out Muse's place. Guys, he's talking about a serial killer. Like, what's the plan? Like, what's the plan of attack? Surprised Daredevil didn't go once he got her out of there. I surprised he didn't go back and take a look around and get what he could first. Information. Take a look around. Uh, see what he could find. Faces. What faces in particular? Does he already have list of targets he's going for? Is he already set up? Like, Now he's got to just move operations and continue going after his targets. Vanessa and Luca. Mm, mm, okay. So Vanessa was the one that freaking said Luca got to pay. And Luca got a smart mouth. Let's see what he does with it. Because don't underestimate Vanessa there, homie. So cryptic. Permission to help. Was it Pennywise? Angel Red Balloons? Hmm, hmm. Yeah. Oh, so you haven't talked to the last one. Mm. What did they find in Bastion's past? Okay. Mm. It's Taekwondo. Mm. Did he do something to Coach Lee? What else did you learn? Was that his first? That's the question. Like, was that his first time? Because that's something. Did he learned a lot? So did he learn a lot about what he needed to do? Yep. Oh, she's the key. Mm, it's troublesome. Yeah, you would be careful. Oh, he starts bleeding from the nose randomly because he is so excited. Hmm. Task force is going to be in play. He's probably going to set something up. So I think he'll set something up for Bastion Cooper, right? So Bastion Cooper is Muse, and little breadcrumbs will be led to that. And he's going to set the task force up around Cooper when they find him and watch him. Something to that effect. So when Daredevil goes in to check, interrogate, see what's going on, task force can jump in and start working on Daredevil. Ooh, no more secrets between us. He is. Hmm. Yep, there he goes. I knew she's gonna get into it. I think one of these is messing up. So I have to change microphones. Yep, Daredevil's back on the move. Now he's checking out the place, which is what I expected him to do. Unless looking for raised patterns in the blood. Oh, he's starting to put two and two together. They get a move on there, Matt. Your psychiatrist.
Told you, task force coming in. Wakey, wakey. There he is, ready to go. Told you, Muse speaks. You should wait for him to speak. So I wonder, like, again, with all of his stuff, he wants to feel a part of them when he really truly cares about someone, makes them part of his art. So he gave us his Taekwondo background, so I wonder if he's going to utilize it now fighting Daredevil. They're very smart, because why would you do this in her office? You make sure she doesn't have any more clients coming. It's like it's gonna be easy for you to get caught. I figured he'd take her somewhere else, but his place has been compromised, so that's probably why he's again in survival mode. So he's just trying to do whatever he needs to do, wherever he needs to do. They're setting up. I'm curious what how Muse is going to respond to all this. Oh, is he about to just get to work? Oh, really? Your plan was really to antagonize him. She came with a headbutt, though. She's at least trying. I give her that. Here we go. Daredevil versus Muse, round two, baby. And the task force is going to home in on both of them. Better stay down, girl. Task force going in. What's he gonna do? He's like, he's got to finish the job. Like this. Uh, make Muse the canvas. Uh-huh. So okay, see, this is more fight. Oh, she. Okay. Don't talk to her like you're mad and give yourself away. Oh, get out of there. See? I said in the last episode that Muse is probably going to be wasted because Muse definitely should have been around a lot longer than what Muse has been. That was disappointing for me in terms of like I wanted Muse to be around longer, and Muse should be able to fight back. So like, up there's Fisk. Hey, positive. You did not get a positive ID. You can assume that he was there, unless you physically saw him in the room. How are you going to say that he was there? You don't know. That's what he's going to tout. The task force is doing his job. Stop Muse. Yep, there it is. He's going to play it up. Boy, this is coming. So they're going to be the heroes. It's a task force. So, of course, anybody going against the vigilantes is going to be seen as the bad guys, not helping because they're the ones to take down vigilantes when they go bad, they go rogue. But news reports are saying differently. Okay. What was BB got to say? Mm, what are you going to run, BB? That's the question. Oh, he getting bold. Mm. This is what you got into, BB. Like, what do you expect? Yeah, he was slipping, but you kind of set him up. Y'all drinking, so you're waiting for him to spill secrets. Mm. Now, what does she remember? That's a question. Yeah, she's shaking hard. Yeah, see, she remembers somebody else there. That's the thing. Like, what does she remember? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who's he? I think, like, no, straight out. Who's he? I need to know what you think you know. Okay, so you think it was Daredevil. I told you, Matt, not to be talking like you trying to talk to her. There you go, Fisk. He's about to play it up. Yep. And he's holding up the mask. Of course he is. Okay, who is she? She's texting somebody. 32 Wither Street. He's alone. What does that mean? What is that setting up for? It's freaking. I know she's working with Luca. We knew that was gonna happen. But who was she sending Luca to go see? She gotta be smart enough not to do it to, not to send him after Fisk. Fisk is there alone, and there he is. Oh man, how is this gonna turn out? Buck in the shadows, boy. There goes Luca. She's not gonna cross Fisk. She set up Luca to get rid of him. That was that was beautiful. Love that scene. That was nice. All right, this was this was solid. I like this episode. We got some good bit of action. We got stuff. I don't like that Muse did not make it out of the episode. Muse was dispatched a lot easier than his counterpart. This is more of a young Muse, and again, it's an adaptation, so I'm not fully mad at it. I'm just like, would love to have him around a bit more. And kind of maybe lead up Cat and Mouse's target a little bit more. Not if he's going directly after her, since she's the cause of everything. She's the one who helped him see who he really was. Then I would love for him to kind of leave little hints and little stuff and kind of mess with her throughout the episodes, and then get to the climax of him getting his hands on her and trying to create, his perfect canvas or whatever it is that he's trying to do. Oh, I would rather go some to that effect. The task force being put on top, that was a big thing. That's definitely big. They're gonna be put on top for taking out all the vigilantes and stuff like that. Mainly with people who wear masks, but all vigilantes, which means possibly Punisher included. So a lot of them idolize Punisher. So if they get told to take out the Punisher, which you know Fisk and Daredevil have had dealings with, then how are they going to respond? Are they going to be quick to react with that? Because Punisher's taking out everybody with like no hesitation. Like everybody's getting dropped immediately. Now, Kingpin is starting to get back to Kingpin esque things. Again, manipulation for his own means, his own gain, what he can do to set up for himself. So utilizing the task force to push his agenda, taking his frustration out on, was it Alex, whatever, having Vanessa set up freaking Luca to deal with him because he's a loose end. He wants to take over, change of management, so that can't have that around. Like, this is good. This was a solid episode, so I'm very happy about this one. I want to know what we got. We got two more episodes left before they take a break, and then they come back in the fall. So these 2 episodes got to ramp up hard. And they got to leave us on a really good cliffhanger. And I mean, like a really good cliffhanger, like something that makes you think, like, oh man, what could happen? What's going on? And is it going to tie into anything? Will it tie into any of current MCU projects going on? Like, will we see anything? Will anybody make appearances in New York? We know that Fantastic Four around there, but again, they're probably not worried about Hell's Kitchen, all kind of stuff. Don't think there's any other shows between there. It's a good chance we could see Miss Marvel in Jersey City's right on the corner. He still has to go have dinner with Khan, so I do think that's going to happen sometime in here. We are going to see Miss Marvel possibly, and if Miss Marvel's in tow, then it's possible you'll see Kate Bishop as well, since they are the first two members of the Young Avengers that have sort of been established. So, yeah, solid episode. I give this a 8. This was good. I want to know who else they're going to bring in. Like, you got to bring in a couple more. I won't say big bads, but you know, Fisk is the big bad. But Dex coming back, so Bullseye coming back at some point. Foggy should make a return sometime next season, or at the end. It could be at the end of these next 2 episodes. He makes a return, and it's like, what? That'd be like, Foggy's alive, and then they just cut, and then you don't see nothing for a couple months. That'll get people's attention. Yo, Weird One, what's up? What's going on? It's just me today. Did you watch the episode? It's been here rambling about it a little bit. I think this one was a solid entry. Still just kind of they're ramping things up again for now. The task force or everything. Yeah, and that's the thing I was saying as soon as I saw it happen. And I said this last episode. I'm like, I think they're going to shortchange Muse. I really think they're going to shortchange Muse. I wasn't sure how they're going to handle it. But when he got away, I was like, okay, I had a little bit of hope. But then that quickly got dissipated in this episode when I saw him ramping up to go after Glenn. And I was like, nope, because you got the Glenn. You got to deal with Daredevil again. And because that is the person he is in love with, so to speak, which I don't really think he's in love with her. But he is going to take that personally, and he's going to do damage, which absolutely did. I didn't expect her to get the last hit in, but yep. As soon as he got shot, I knew that was coming. So that because when he said freaking, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was here. I'm like, nah, freaking, you didn't see him. Nobody saw him. So no. But there's going to be people on the street. But if the media can swing the way that Fisk needs it, which is why BB is being put on the hook, then the media is going to displace the common person going, yeah, I saw this. So no one cares about you. If you're not, big corporate media, nobody's worried about you. These are the ones that are telling the truth. These are the ones that are giving the information. So yeah, I think we lost Muse way too soon. Definitely could have used him more. I say I wanted him to kind of string her along and kind of mess with her and kind of tease her all the way through until he decided he was going to attack her, and then that would have been more climactic. I do think that they should bring some more, like now that Muse is dead, you can use that as a catalyst for other people, because they're not really vigilantes, are the ones that are helping people, whatever. So you need other bad guys that are kind of in the town and doing stuff. I gotta run back through all of the rogues gallery of Daredevil, but you know, Bullseye definitely needs to get released and put back on the streets to give some more stuff because that was one of the best fight scenes I've seen in a while since Hallway. I do think that this is going to tie into Elektra making her appearance here by the end of probably by the end of the 9 episodes. Should probably be mentioned or shown in some capacity. I wonder if we're going to see Punisher in episodes 8 and 9, which is episode 9, assuming he shows up in the finale. I think with the task force taking credit, I think that that's going to kind of rile him up because I think they're going to start, kind of parading more. And North has been known, so the lead guy, to attempt to attempt to be Punisher kind of thing. Like he's wearing the Punisher outfit. So that we saw White Tiger was taken out by, the similar function, someone parading around as the Punisher. So it is quite possible that we see Frank. I always think we're going to see him fairly soon. We should see him in 9. Who else can make an appearance? Freaking Bullet, uh, Bushwhacker, Jester. If you want more mask guys, Jester. I don't think they're gonna do Lady Bullseye. Matador, Mass Marauder, Organizer. We've already dealt with Purple Man stuff. Stilt Man, Typhoid Mary, Sammy Silk, The Rose. Yeah, we got a couple options we could choose from as far as bringing some souls in, but some have to be further down the line so that, like Rose, like you couldn't bring Rose in specifically because of that being Fisk's kid. So that would have to be a big lead up, freaking. And unless you're going to change it, or Vanessa was not the mother, which doesn't make any sense, then that's pointless. Let's see. That one gang leader really thought he was going to kill Fisk that easily. I know, right? Like I don't know what we're going through their heads sometimes when they be trying to set themselves up. It's like, yeah. So when he said, yeah, if you want to give help, like where she's like, are you asking for help or whatever? He's like, that's up to you. I was like, you just signed your own warrant because like this is his wife. And she is still his wife. It's very clear. Wife. She has got his back until something else otherwise happens. She has gone behind his back, messed around with somebody else, and he loves her that much that he is willing to forgive all of that in terms of her, not him, like the guy that was done with, but her, and still take care of her and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Fisk has got a screw loose, and so that, and he's going to use that screw to screw you over first chance he gets if you think about doing anything to mess with him or Vanessa. So yeah, Luke could kind of like, change plans. The way he walked up Vanessa, I was like, you is not gonna make it, dude. You messing up. You messing up. So yeah. And honestly, when I saw the shot come out thing, I was like, freaking, oh, did he bring Dex out? Is Bullseye in the corner? Like, no, it was Buck. I was like, all right, Buck's okay, but I really would have like Bullseye in the corner and just, he throws a salt shaker at his head or something and takes him out. Like that'd have been hilarious. And one thing I noticed in the episode is he had an angry look on his face a bunch this episode. Looks like we're getting back to that angry Kingpin soon, especially that rant he had about Daredevil. Yeah, so that's what I said. So last episode, we have the parallels where they're just both kind of getting it in and getting a whole lot of rage and frustration. So I think that was opening the door. And with them opening the door, you have Kingpin, so him specifically, he is really trying to get the city together in his image, but every time something goes awry, yes, he's getting upset. So it's one thing after another. So having to beat down with Alex and stuff like that, people not cooperating freaking with his stuff. His plans not going past. Daniel releasing too much information and kind of get trouble. Like all these things are things that are kind of pissing him off and stuff like that. So yeah, the angrier and the angrier he get, and I'm like, yeah, get angry and keep eating. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see what this goes in. Do you think Vanessa's phone is tapped by Kingpin and he therefore found out about the hit before it could be completed? I think she was in on it. I don't think it was a tap hit thing so like that because he's like, I'm going to bring her food. Whatever. Like, I think she set up Luca where that's why she came to see him was like, hey, this was what's up. And he was like, yo, we need a change in hiring because we're not making as much as we used to and so with that. So he was like, you want to help me or not? Whatever. It's up to you what you want to do. And then she sent him the address of it. I think she completely set him up. She let Kingpin know, like, hey, Luca, he's coming for you. He wants to say something, whatever. And Kingpin's like, all right, I got it. No problem. I think we see Bullseye again probably as a tease at the end of episode 8. Possibly that. I think the biggest tease we're gonna get is gonna be something episode 9, and then they go away for the summer, for their end of the spring summer. It'll be best. I've been up all day. I think that'd be best. I think we could see, so the ones we could possibly see are Daredevil going into Dark Devil. I think we see Kingpin getting back to his angry self. I think we see Bullseye out. I think Electric can make an appearance. Punisher makes an appearance. I think BB's gonna get really in some hot water because she's gonna have to make the report. Like there's no other way around it. I think for her, she's gonna have to make the report to be like, hey yo, Daredevil wasn't there because now she's got to value her life over her stories. But how bold of a journalist is she? Is she willing to tell the truth, or is she willing to, lie and kind of see what happens? Because they're not gonna come after her. What do you think caused Daredevil to put on the black suit? Heather is not gonna make it. I think it's Heather. Heather's not gonna make it. Heather's not gonna make it, and he's gonna go on a rampage. He's going to get in the suit, and he is not going to get out of the suit. He is going to live in that suit. He is going to get funky. Throughout the entirety of the series, it kind of seemed like it was building up to this, to where he's moving day and night trying to stop stuff and deal with everything. And it's going to take freaking someone like Angela and Punisher or whatever, so that to kind of bring him back down to earth. That's my take on it. That's my guess. But I think that we'll get something like that. That's part of the tease that we can get at the end of episode 9. But that is she's taken out in the crossfire, or it's like we want to make sure there's no witnesses, because if she goes on record and says, yes, Daredevil was there. Yeah, I was there. The doctor was there, and he was there. Then that gives Daredevil a huge surge, and that drops a lot of the police. We were there. We took care of it. So at that. So then she got to get taken out because she just caused the problem, and we got to shut that problem up. And when he slammed Heather's head door, I thought she was dead at first. Man, yeah, it was hard. So that I knew he was gonna keep her alive because he wanted to bloodlet, freaking. But yeah, freaking, I was like, oh yeah, she unconscious for sure. Like that noggin freaking knocker ain't no joke. You get hit on that door, it's a done deal. I just didn't expect. Like I wanted Muse to fight back better. Like it just seemed like Muse was constantly getting walked over during these fights, and like he got some good moves, he got some good hits in, but it's like, yo, like you just talked up his taekwondo and stuff like that. Like let's really get into his taekwondo, So that. So I want Taekwondo versus boxing right now. Like let's really get into it and see what's what. But we didn't get all that. No, we could have an Iron Fist cameo. You ready for that? Okay. No Iron Fist cameo. Since he really, really wants to get back. Like I don't think. Yeah. So if y'all, let me get your opinion again. And we talked about this before, but again, Danny Rand, freaking coming back to the MCU. Is it a thing? Can we have it happen? I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Uh, Finn Jones has really been adamant about saying that he wants to reprieve himself. He wants to do better. So I feel like everything is possible. Yeah, everything is possible at this point. So at that, like again, we like it seems like the character has already moved on in the comics from Iron Fist. So like that, from Danny Rand. So it's like I don't really need to see Danny Rand anymore. But Danny Rand does have a considerable amount of resources for the team, with having money. So that could be a reason to bring him back in because he got money, which means we get gear and other stuff that we need. But they're a street team. They don't really need too much stuff. After seeing Channing Tatum Gambit return, anything is possible at this point. Yeah, anything is possible. So that. He was funny in Deadpool, so that freaking I want a more serious Gambit kind of going into the next one. But it's because we saw the portal. It's probably the same Gambit. We'll see how they run it. But Gambit is also nothing like we don't have Rogue. And unless you want to do like a surprise announcement of was it Anna Paquin returning and stuff like that, freaking adult, like that could be something. I don't know. What else? Yeah, I mean, Mike Coulter, Luke Cage, definitely could have him back. Kristen Ritter, Jessica Jones, White Tigers getting built and developed. Yeah, these are the characters that freaking make up the entirety of this Netflix Street universe. So having them come back and do some, I want to see them go to like you got the entire task force, which Daredevil can take out the entire task force himself, but I want them to put some more into it. So like we have task force with, the gangs, the freaking all the business criminals, all that kind of stuff, and all of them are pitted against the defenders, and they got to scrap. It's like, all right, now we're the new defenders. So let's bring this together. Let's take White Tiger. Let's take all of them. Let's get scrapping. Like I still don't even know how old she is exactly, but like she got to start training and getting ready if she's gonna take on that mantle. I was surprised at first when I didn't see Tom Holland's name, but I'm guessing that Spider-Man 4 is going to be a street story that's happening in the background while Doomsday is happening. Now stop. Yep. I do believe that is the thing. So Spider-Man Brand New Day is the name of the movie. If you haven't seen, CinemaCon has released information on John Wick 5, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is scheduled for 2027, Spider-Man 4, which is scheduled for 2026, I believe. Yeah, July 31st, 2026. So, speaking of the task force, I always see them in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I don't know. I think that task force will be dismantled before they get there. I think they will, but I don't know. But Spider-Man Brand New Day, freaking, this is being taken from the comics like that, and this is where Spider-Man, freaking, he basically wants to protect his people like that, and he's trying not to have any of them in danger because of what happened with Aunt May, what happened with Mary Jane, that. So I think they gave an official synopsis. Oh, I'll see what their official synopsis because it's an adaptation. He basically gave up everything to Punisher. Punisher's probably gonna take him out. Like absolutely, I think Punisher's gonna take him out. But this is supposed he gives up everything and gives up his life to make sure he protects everyone. Like gives up his marriage, all that kind of stuff. Well, he's not married to Mary Jane, but we see that he did give her up more or less he didn't go and let her know that he was there, try to remind her nothing. But the official synopsis for IMDb: after Doomsday, right? Keep that in mind. Peter Parker tries to focus on college and leaves Spider-Man behind. But when a new threat endangers his friends, he must break his promise and suit up again, teaming up with an unexpected ally to protect those he loves. So that's where we're at with Brand New Day. Brand New Day is a sequel to the One More Day, I believe. I believe so. I can't remember the order of releases so that like, I don't get to read as many comics as I used to. Good stuff. But the One More Day, I know it was a 4-part storyline. That's what I remember. I think it was like 2008 or 9 or something like that. 2007, 2008. Okay, I was close. 2007, 2008. November 2007, 2008. So yeah, this is where the thing pretty much fell apart and things had to get figured out for him. Mephisto was actually in as part of this entire series with the One More Day. So Mephisto has been mentioned. Again, I've been screaming about Mephisto since WandaVision. So having Mephisto come in some capacity definitely sets up for more of the supernatural stuff, which we've already been getting with Strange and all that with magic. So yeah. I don't know how they're going to freaking does depend on where he took away the marriage of Peter and Mary Jane, and that was the whole thing. But we don't have to have that part because again, they're already separated. But again, this is gonna be after Doomsday. So with all the speculation of what's going on in Doomsday, anything here can happen. Because I've heard several things so far that freaking Tom Cruise is still attached to play a version of Iron Man. That Tony Stark is a young Tony Stark freaking in the Fantastic Four's universe. It's not yet Iron Man running around. The way the chairs were positioned, I was like, we might actually get the Science Bros with Doomsday and Mr. Fantastic. With Doom and Mr. Fantastic within Doomsday. So we'll see how that goes. Eventually end up with the Avengers versus X-Men kind of thing going on. That's where Secret Wars and stuff comes in. So Doomsday is the setup for everything. So pay close attention when watching Fantastic Four to what happens, because we'll get right around in Doomsday and then Spider-Man 4, and stuff will be popping off at that point. Oh man, I'm excited to see how they're going to play it out. Like, I want to know with that. Are we getting an entire new trilogy, or are we just kind of throwing a little stuff in here and there? But there's also the ones I expect to see, of course, are we already talked about having Harry Osborn in effect. Mr. Negative is something very curious to see how this all falls. Yeah, Mr. Negative, I think, is supposed to be the main protagonist of this one, which is street level, figuring stuff out. But his powers are something that Spider-Man is not used to dealing with, because again, he can Mr. Negative can has the ability to touch and corrupt and stuff as well. So that's kind of a whole thing. So there's looks like Jackpot Menace and Freak were part of the Brand New Day storyline. Yeah, they talk about the Superhuman Registration Act, which we already see that the stuff they talk about it in Brave New World, where that stuff was fixed, and they're trying to rebuild the Avengers. So that spoilers. Sorry if you haven't seen it, you should have seen it by now. Um, they're definitely trying to rebuild the Avengers. So we'll see how that plays out. I want to know. I want to know if we're going to get the other big mainline villains in here for Brand New Day. I don't think the villain is going to be the biggest name. I'm even hearing Chameleon might be the villain of this movie. It depends on how they play it. So we saw. All right. I hope you guys have seen Craven. If not, it's free to stream. I think in a couple of places. But Craven introduced some characters and stuff and talked about stuff. And here's the thing, freaking, and I will take this, whatever's up. Craven the character in the movie, with Craven, the way the actor played the character when he was grown up, like I said, was solid. It wasn't super like, oh my god, what I can't do this. Like, it was solid. The rest of the movie, throw away. Rhino, throw away. The fact that I got a rhino running around, spoilers, again, spoilers. I got a rhino running around with a colostomy bag. Does not sit well with me. I was like, this is kind of whatever. But Chameleon did make we did get Chameleon referenced in the movie. So it was like, yes, you could absolutely bring Chameleon in as part of this and bring this in. The ones that we've already seen done, and this is multiversal stuff. This is so many things that are going on. So it's like we've already got Green Goblin, that was taken care of. We've already got freaking Doc Ock. We've seen Sandman. We've seen Lizard. We've seen all these other ones. So that I don't want to see them no more. You failed at putting together Sinister Six, and we could have had a Sinister Six movie. We could have had Spider-Man's deal with Sinister Six. Several different Spider-Mans could have dealt with Sinister Six at some point in time. It just don't seem like it's happening. So stop trying to do it. Let's just focus on the individual, because Spider-Man's got a huge rogues gallery. The only person with a bigger rogues gallery than Spider-Man is Batman. All right, so it is what it is. I'll take whatever they really put together to make it work with good villains. So having Chameleon there, having Scorpion play, come in and play, because we kind of had Scorpion was kind of popped off for a second, but he's kind of thrown to the wayside in the other Spider movie. Mr. Negative is definitely a good option. The Craven we got was a more less a good guy, so it's not gonna really translate well to having to hunt down Spider-Man. It's funny how Sony has made all these Spider-Man character movies, but there's no Spider-Man in that universe. Yeah, because they keep screwing up. They keep screwing it up. So that. And here's the thing is, there is a Spider-Man in the universe. So like Vulture, all right, when they had Vulture meet up with Morbius for that, we know Vulture has specifically encountered Spider-Man. But now he's pulled to another universe where apparently there is no Spider-Man. So Spider-Man makes a little bit difference, but still, he still has the information, because we don't know if did Strange's stuff affect him. Does he remember any of it? I don't know. I didn't really get to ask him. I got to go back and watch. I don't want to go back and watch Morbius in any capacity, but it's like, freaking, what was going on with that? I want to know how that whole Spider freaking movie, Madam freaking Web, like how that could go on, and you did not make any mention of Peter Parker, like as Spider-Man. If you could see the future and different varying outcomes, like you should have saw Spider-Man like very clearly mentioned at some point. Not these strange allusions to it, because again, it was just stupid. Like, just say his name, say it what it is. But it was, they drug it out for so long to the very end, and they set up the thing, and again, trash, garbage, throw it away, burn it, kill it. Ned Leeds, that's the one that I've been talking about Ned for a minute. What is Ned Leeds going to do? What is he going to get into? He was Spider Man's guy in the chair, but he says specifically, "I would never turn against you and take you out, Peter, because you're my best friend." He said that in the movie, right? Well, Ned Leeds is the Hobgoblin, one of several Hobgoblins, like Richard Kingsley said. Like he's one of the Hobgoblins. So, are we going to see Ned go that route, do some Hobgoblin stuff? But I think Spider Man was supposed to be in Madam Web and fight that evil guy, but they didn't do it. Yes, that was all part of his character. That is part of his character. That is part of his shtick. Dealing with Ezekiel and so like that is the thing. Like the whole movie, it hurts. It hurts thinking about it. But like you have a chance to really make a universe and make it stand out. And easily, when the Infinity Saga finished, you could have branched into doing the entire Spider-Man saga, and it would have fit in perfectly, doing Spider-Man stuff while you continue to set up for Doomsday, Secret Wars, and all that kind of stuff. You could add all this going in between. Because we had a bunch of stuff that just dropped. We had so many shows. Like honestly, I felt we were oversaturated for a minute, and I hate that I have to say that. We were oversaturated for a minute with Marvel content because there was so much stuff, and it didn't leave any room for intrigue, like mystery, like what's going to happen next, or how does this connect to this and stuff like that. It was just like, no, you blatantly see that this was going, 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 and then some of the shows that went were so hard into the we gotta make sure that you understand everything. Like no, it was like we're big people. We can figure out some stuff. You don't have to hand us everything on a silver platter. Like let us wonder. Let us kind of figure out. Leave an air of mystery to it. It was too much explaining, over explaining. Miss Marvel being one of the ones that freaking really got me with the quantum entanglement going into the Marvels and setting all that stuff up. Trying to have her have that power and utilize her powers so that when it turns out like, oh, there was just a bracelet that was a quantum entanglement device, she's actually a mutant, which that's what they retconned in the comics because she wasn't inhuman and she became, all the Terrigen myths, so that freaking she became a mutant through some kind of the retcon or whatever the case may be. But we know Inhumans existed because we saw Black Bolt get freaking, backblast area wasn't secure and freaking his mouth went the other direction. So yeah, they've had plenty of opportunities to get this stuff to work and pull together, and I think that Marvel needs to slow down a little bit and make sure that they're quality over quantity. You need Sony to step up and get off the reins a little bit and talk to Marvel and make Spider-Man work with the characters. And then we got to figure out what direction we're going because we got looks like New Avengers, Young Avengers, freaking Armored freaking Wars going on with the team, so like that. Freaking Namor might end up trying to freaking go over there and freaking get sued, which causes a whole bunch of problems. Freaking, it looks like they're with the Superhuman Registration Act and all that stuff with Brand New Day. It looks like you're trying to redo Civil War, which had to do with the Sokovia Accords, which is more or less essentially Superhuman Registration Act kind of rewritten, more or less. It's like, what are we doing? Where are we trying to go? Like, what is, for lack of a better term, what is the end game? What is it that we're trying to accomplish as a series, as a Marvel project? Like, where is the direction that we're going as Big Bag? And the thing is, I don't like everything has to be up front. So yes, I'm waiting to see how things turn out. But it seems like you don't have a clear path in play, and I think part of it was because of Jonathan Majors' whole thing, and you had Kang. But let's be honest, Quantumania didn't do well at all. Like Quantumania sucked because Kang would not be bodied by some ants in no capacity. Scott Lang, Ant-Man should have been taken out by Kang because Kang would have bodied that boy. Like there's no doubt about it. He would have caught it and it'd been done with. That didn't happen. Marvel needs to stop rushing stuff. They absolutely do. They need to stop rushing stuff. Marvel, I love you. I do. I got so much of your merchandise right there, you know. But I need you to get it together and stop rushing your content. Like really slow it down and make sure that we are getting a nice dose of everything that we need. That really, that's the scene that you're worried about. Freaking that freaking. Right. Well, freaking enjoy yourself. Freaking. I mean, I just think it. I mean, it was mainly there to showcase the fact is that he has been getting hurt. He is fighting. He is doing more stuff so that, and now his visibly you see the blood pouring out, getting washed off, and the bruises, the damages, the cracked ribs, whatever sort of that. Now it's being known. So I think, eventually she's going to put two and two together, and that's going to lead back to Daredevil in some kind of fashion that's going to cause problems. She's going to get taken out at some point in time, and once she's taken out, Daredevil goes into Dark Devil mode, and now we are sitting at the only people that can bring him back would be Punisher, Angela, Foggy, Karen. That's maybe Cherry. Probably not so much, but those are the five people that are there to talk to Matt and kind of talk him off a ledge and kind of figure stuff out. I think freaking if the pacing continues, so if you do the pacing of about 2 to 3 movies a year, I think freaking starting off strong in getting a year, like in that January, February time slot is good. You hit that summer blockbuster, and then you hit that Christmas movie. So at that sometime during that time, it gives you a good spread. You want to put little stuff in between there, like a show or two, whatever. Cool. Like we got Spider-Man the first years, whatever, right? At the beginning of the year. Cool. Got that. Captain America Brave New World. So it's like a little something. Captain America Brave New World. Right? We're getting Daredevil here in between. Okay, getting Daredevil. Daredevil's a big one. 18 episodes. We're going to get Thunderbolts in May. Fantastic Four during the summer. Okay, there's some blockbuster. Now from here, got to figure out what else is coming and then start slowing down and stuff from there. I'm not sure everything's. I think I saw something scheduled on the list for the end of the year, but I couldn't remember. We'll have to see. Blade apparently got canceled. Don't know. Don't quote me on this. I do not know for sure. I got to go look it up. But some of the rumors I've been seeing is that Blade finally just got canceled. That Punisher line in season when he said, "You're one bad day away from becoming like me," really might come true. Yeah, freaking yeah. You're absolutely right. This is it. This is gonna be the bad day. Because why did Frank become the Punisher? Right? He lost his family freaking and that he survived it and then had to come back and deal with that. So that freaking yeah, what do you think is gonna be on the same side of that coin? And it's gonna be freaking Punisher probably be the best one. After that talk that they had, I feel like Punisher's the best one to pull him out of it if he goes too far. I really think that's gonna be it. Now, with Punisher going to bat for him, so they're trying to bring him out, because he said what he said. That would be a huge selling point to pull Punisher now into a recurring cast role. So that's just being earlier cameos. Now you got Daredevil and Punisher trying to clean up the streets and deal with some stuff and keep him on even keel. And then you can start bringing in whoever else will need to fall into that category. So, yeah. So we got freaking. Let's see. Yeah, the other thing. Still wonder what's going on freaking because we have. So, all right, remember that synopsis I just read about Spider-Man, Brand New Day. After Doomsday, Peter Parker tries to focus on college and leave Spider-Man behind. But when a new threat endangers his friends, he must break his promise to suit up again, teaming up with an unexpected ally to protect those he loves. Venom. there's still a Venom symbiote present in that universe. I would not be surprised if it finds him, attaches to him. Hopefully, still voiced by Tom Hardy, and we can literally play it out to where eventually Tom Hardy travels to New York or whatever the case may be because he's lost his thing, so that, and then Peter goes through it, and then he has to get rid of it, get it off him. Guess what? It finds Eddie again, but now we got the symbol. It's actually official now. He has become part of it. He has become Venom, and now you have him within the MCU in whatever capacity you're going to have him in. Anti-hero, freaking, or hey, just going to quietly fade into the background, whatever the case would be. You got something to work with. So yeah, I'm going to be speculating over these unexpected allies for probably the next couple of days. Trying to see everybody possible that is currently present, that can be brought in, so that, and that can be that has not been shown that can be brought in. I think that's going to be a big selling point as well for them to be like, all right, we're bringing in such. Oh wow, that's a good choice. Let's see that, or we're dropping this off. All right, cool. It's like, are we going to do some live action Spider Verse? That's the thing. Spider Verse Beyond the Spider Verse, we saw Donald Glover in his live action Prowler suit locked up. Right, he was locked up. There could be a universe that has live action ready to go, and that can, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse slips through it at some point, and we see some live action get pulled through. So we could have Don Glover's Prowler. We could have other ones as, whatever they want to bring in that have related to the Spider-Man universe. And then run from there. Actually have live action versions. I think a live action Spider Society kind of thing would be interesting, but at the same time, with how heavily saturated we are with other stuff, maybe not so much. Still, great episode tonight. Yeah, as I said, I gave it a solid. I gave it a solid 8, just because I didn't like what happened with Muse, and that's what we were talking earlier. Muse, and I said this before when we talked. So Muse, I did not think needed to go that fast. I think Muse was definitely wasted with that. Shut up, Tony. I know you came in here to say that. I knew it. I was waiting on it. And, Tony in the chat being a punk. But yeah. Yeah, you're not gonna get no hat. But yeah, I think that this is definitely going to set up for the Dark Devil, with Heather not making it, and then Dark Devil making its debut. And this is where we're going to get the real violent stuff. Like, this is where it's going to get really, 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 really bad. And I'm not just talking about for Daredevil. I'm talking about for everybody who is dealing with Daredevil, because he's going to give the little vigilante team, he's going to give them a reason to come after him. He's going to take them out. I don't know. I haven't seen him. Oh, yeah, freaking. He is missed as always. It's been freaking, the weird one and Trey, chatting back and forth. I don't know, freaking. I got any other freaking questions, speculations, stuff you think is gonna happen? Freaking, I mean, not just right here, like throughout the MCU, like how many effects can this have on the MCU as a total? Freaking, whether it be putting together the Defenders team, whether it be freaking, segueing into Spider-Man, freaking, I would love to see Spider-Man, Beyond the Spider-Verse, have something to do with Spider-Man 4. That would be hilarious. Like, you could literally have Miles drop in and be dropped into universe if you wanted to, and kind of be stuck there because, he don't belong freaking because our Miles we see is a part of two universes. His universe 42 and his universe, which is not the same thing, which is where the glitch stuff comes in. If you're out of your own, you start messing up, but he stays within his DNA has changed, so it makes sense for him to be home to have two places as home. But they showed some screenshots too. If you haven't checked it, go check out CinemaCon. Look at some of the screenshots like that. I am going to try and I did post them on our Geek Variants page on Facebook, so they are there. I'm going to try and post them to the Instagram stuff later. Trying to get more into the social media thing besides just YouTube and do more posts with Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. So, all means, if you haven't already been following, we would appreciate it if you followed while we try and get that together and start making those posts and start doing more talks and stuff there. And we're gonna just do more stuff, have conversations. We're gonna start doing some more questions, just like, hey, what kind of hypotheticals can we come up with? What Tony is great at coming up with hypotheticals and stuff like that, as far as who's going to fight what and what, and then he will go down a rabbit hole telling you why this would work and why this would work and why this won't work, and so on and so forth. And Brett will keep us in line as we go over time constraints, because that's what we tend to do. Like, I'm already going to hear his mouth now because the episode's been over for a while and I've been talking because I like to talk about this kind of stuff, like the chat. Freaking, I can be completely wrong. I can be completely right. I don't care. Freaking, I just want to talk about it. So like that, because I need different opinions to know what y'all think or what I missed and stuff like that, so I can put two and two together and then piece it all together. I've been pretty spot on so far about how they're using some of the characters and what I think is on the horizon. So it's just down to a wait and see. Apparently, Peacemaker made a casting freaking with a Batman villain at some point. Yeah, July 31st, 2026 for Spider-Man Brand New Day. So make sure. And then same thing, it'll be July for, what we'll call it, for Spider-Verse in 2027, I think. Because things had to wait. And things had a whole bunch of with that many delays. I don't see how you can't write something into the story in regards to Spider-Man 4. Like, it would absolutely make sense to write something in it. Only if it makes sense. Don't try and shoehorn in there if it don't make sense. Make it make sense. There is also supposed to be a spinoff of whatchamacallit, Spider-Man Noir on Amazon, I think, with Nicolas Cage. Live action, I think. I don't know. It's got to be like a detective. If it's something in the realm of like Dick Tracy, show my age. I'll watch Dick Tracy when I was a kid. Yeah, it could definitely work. But I think that's all I got for this one. I don't really have much else this on my mind, unless I got something. I'm literally just kind of cycling through a quick recap and everything. Nick Cage Spider-Man TV show live action is very random. It really is. Like, honestly, I think you would have done a better job if you focused on Penny's backstory. So you do like an animated something or whatever with Penny Parker and show where she came from. You can make it like a 6-episode short or something like that. Just show how she got her powers and with Spider and how all that kind of got put together with her dad, building the suit and all that kind of stuff. Like, that would be interesting. That would make more sense to see than Nick Cage run around as Spider-Man Noir. Like who's signing up to watch this? Now, will I watch it? Unfortunately, yes, I will watch it. Will I enjoy it? Remains to be seen. But it's out there. It's coming. I don't think we have any. Did Sony announce any other like Spider-Man movies? Uh, Sony upcoming. I don't think they announced anything. That's what I know. I think the last one was freaking what, Venom, right? Spider-Man Brand New Day in pre-production. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse in production. Spider-Man Spider-Noir, Spider-Man live action Noir series in post-production. Silk, Spider Society series. Status unknown, possibly dead. So I don't know if they're gonna do Silk. Untitled female cast in the Spider-Verse spinoff. Status unknown, possibly dead. All right, so let's talk about that real quick. I never forget El Muerto was announced. I know, right? Freaking, I remember that one. That one definitely, I think, is dead, but it was announced. But no, so Silk. So that has anyone played these Spider-Man games on PlayStation? If you have played them, then you know what I'm talking about. If you have not played them, then spoiler, but it's a spoiler, but not really, but it's a spoiler. Like, it has no bearing on the story of the game whatsoever. It's something that you just find out about later in the game. But as they're going on, we already know Miles Morales freaking is primary protagonist in the Spider-Man Miles Morales. So we had Spider-Man, which is Peter Parker, Spider-Man Miles Morales, which was Miles, and then Spider-Man 2, we actually have them both with a nice flip-flop. And this is one of the best games I've played. And so that as far as story driven, because all the Spider-Man games are great story driven games, like absolutely fantastic. But if you flip flop between Peter and Miles at any point in time in the game, there's certain things that only Peter can do, certain things only Miles can do, and there's things that both can do, and you can swap out and mess up your abilities. Like, again, more electric powers for Miles, like that, or Iron Spider stuff for Pete. Perfect, beautiful, makes sense. At the end of the game, I'm not going to give spoilers for the game. At the end of the game, I'll give you spoilers for the post credit. Cindy Moon shows up in the game, which lets me know, okay, there is another Spider-Man game that could be the Marvel Spider-Man 3, which could feature Cindy Moon and Silk running around this thing. Don't know. It's a possibility. So that's a kind of a wait and see. Now, that would have made way more sense than putting together everything they did with Madam Web, which is, Tony's favorite Spider-Man movie. It was completely unnecessary to do all of that, and I think it was a waste when you could have done something like this. That would have made more sense. If you paid attention to the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man TV show, there's a lot of There was a lot of cameos, a lot of characters that were dropped in there. So with that, including Taskmaster's daughter. So with that, but again, the Taskmaster that we know and love, with that, is different from the Taskmaster that we see in the MCU, and that's one that I do not think should have been adapted. That, like, honestly, you could make the character, if you wanted to make the Taskmaster a female, fine, you could have done this like that. But inherently, freaking, make Taskmaster with abilities. You could have actually hidden Taskmaster in the background of so many different freaking things, because Taskmaster was a Shield agent. Taskmaster worked with Shield, so having that person's background and then freaking bam, like, oh, I seen this person. You hold Leonardo DiCaprio, like, hey yo, who was that? So with that, and you thumb back through and just obscure, standing in the background, flagging down a plane or something, obscure, sitting there flipping through the paperwork, so that obscure, doing weapons testing, like Taskmaster the whole time, and we didn't even know it. That would be absolutely hilarious. I would run with it. I would absolutely run with it. What else is anything related to Spider-Man? Daredevil? We got to have a Team Red team up at some point. Daredevil, Spider-Man, Deadpool. Is today is April Fool's Day. If you didn't know, if you're into Magic the Gathering, I know they dropped some Deadpool cards today. people who are interested in that. I think there are still some available because there wasn't a lot of people knowing about it. Some people were skeptical that it was April Fool's joke, but people have been pre-ordering. So that is out there. And there is a Spider-Man set of Magic the Gathering cards set to release in September. So yeah, it's a good chance that I may get a couple of those and do some unboxings because I like Spider-Man. Check it out. That is definitely a possibility. What else is Daredevil? Oh, we got the episodes where Daredevil's just literally wait and see. I expect to see Kamala Khan as the next cameo because I think Punisher should come in as a main staple and just be here. Jessica Jones, show up. Let's deal with some stuff. Let's talk. And matter of fact, since Cherry don't want to help Daredevil, freaking, you could actually have Jessica Jones do the legwork. You go check on stuff, check on sources and all that stuff. Format. That'll work. Have Power Man doing the shakedown. Freaking. See. What else? What else? Oh, I think that's it. Cool. Any more questions, comments, concerns, gripes, moans, complaints? So I am freaking just spitballing Marvel stuff today. I want to get more Spider-Man related projects from Sony that makes sense. So that's kind of the biggest thing I'm waiting on for Sony. So to get Marvel's Wolverine, I believe, as a video game at some point in time. And if it's is there anything like Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is one of the greatest games I played. There's also a Punisher game, I think it was on PS2, that where you actually like jacking people up and utilizing table saws, whatever. Like it was a game. It was a beautiful game. So I'm hoping Marvel's Wolverine is akin to that at some point in time and just makes the most sense for that type of gaming style where you got more of a hack and slash with some story elements to it. Venom still being in the universe. Yeah. All right, so I'm go ahead and get to the recap and do all this stuff. I do appreciate you guys all hanging out with me, talking about this stuff. I think we have 2 more episodes left. I don't know how they're gonna drop. Let's see if I can look that up real quick. Let's see how. Let's see, freaking Daredevil episode release dates. So I do believe that the last 2 won't drop together. I think they'll drop freaking separately. Episode 5 and 6 drop at the same time. Indicating a possible break before the final 3 episodes of the season release. Yeah, April 1st, April 8th, April 15th are the scheduled days for that. So it'll take us through to mid-April, and we'll be watching a bunch of anime and other stuff in between time. So that's all I got. Appreciate you guys for joining us with that. And what we'll do is we will catch you guys the next one. Later.